the primary difference between catalog and non-catalog is that catalog, we saw that. So catalog is nothing but it is kind of a classification wherein let's say I have 10 set of furniture, or let's say I have table, chair and the other details. So I will classify this under furniture. Similarly, I will classify something else under some category. Okay. So this combination of category, we call it as catalog. So the proper definition, we call it as an cataloged item. So the other one is that we have non-catalog item, which means we don't have a proper combination for it, but whereas this will be created as an expensed item. So the simple example that we could say is that let's say there is a company which does the IT services. Let's say it's an Oracle Fusion implementation. So this payout will be in non-catalog item. So which means there will be a PO process, but there will not be an what do you call, the item stored in our inventory. So that is the difference. Okay. So that's the basic difference between each one of it. So now we have seen the inventory based items. So today what we have planned is that we plan for minimax planning, and we will also try to see one cycle with purchasing and these things, with receiving the items and all those information. Okay. So once we are done with this, probably if time permits, so we will also see the item uploading option. Basically, what will happen is that in terms of data migration, so we will have to, I mean, if at all, so there are two ways of doing the data migration. So one is using FBDI template, and the other one is that using API calls. We will have to call the services, and probably we will have to communicate and get those details with us. So we will have to expose our services with the external application or the third party application. Okay. So we will not be able to see the second part which I was saying. So that is communicating between the external application, but we will see how it will work for the FBDI template. So this template would be a bit longer, so we will see each one of the field. Probably, I mean, primarily, whatever the information that we are capturing in our front-end application, so that is the one that we are basically carrying out to the FBDA template also. Okay. So the process we know, so it is just we will fill in the details, and we will load those information, and this information will be carried out to the Fusion application. Okay, so that is the standard process, but we will see in detail what are the things that we will have to do it, because there are few prerequisites. In a sense, we have what do you call, the item class and the inventory. All those things we need to make sure that it is already there. So there's a kind of an prerequisites. So we will see each one of it. Okay, and then we will try to create a simple report, the OTBA report. Okay, the simple one, not the detailed one, to have a basic understanding. Okay. Okay, so let me start with Minimat's planning. So to start with Minimat's planning, so there are a few prerequisites. So that is, we will need an inventory organization. So I have created one inventory organization. So probably I'll take that and I'll show what I have done there. So only the small tweak I have done it there. So apart from that, the setup wise, it is same. So whatever we have done earlier, so that is a similar thing. Okay, so I have created basically the two units. So one is MAUR planning, and the other one is that MAUR planning one. So the reason why I created two inventory organization is that so this is kind of an intra transfer. So we will need two units that has been that will communicate between each other and which will transfer the items from one unit to other unit. Okay. So this is what I have done. So here if you see, so I have just given the unit the same information I have supplied here as well, which means I did not create any, I mean, we have separate business unit, but I will have to start the configuration again from scratch. So that is the reason I'm using the same business unit. Okay, so the other details also same, that is legal entity, profit center, and these information. Okay. Yeah, and then last time when we are seeing the this latest configuration, so we enable the lot control and the serial number generation. So for this particular functionality, what I have done is that I disable this lot and serial number, and with this I will configure it. Because what will happen is that if I have lot control and these things enable, I'll not be able to receive the item into my inventory. So I'll have to do the serial number generation and these things. So that's why to avoid those things. So what I have done is that I have disabled this option called lot control. Okay. So the similar configuration for the other unit as well. So let me take to the item. Okay. So once this is done, uh, we will create the sub inventory. So sub inventory, we don't have anything specific. So that is just we are attaching this unit there. So also we have seen it in the earlier session. So I'm not getting into there. So what I will do is that I will take to the product management. I mean the item creation screen. Okay, so let me pick the item that I have for our process. Okay. So only difference is that under specifications, we have planning. Okay. So under planning, we have this one. Okay. So basically, to understand what is Minimat's planning is that Minimat's planning is an planning mechanism that is being used in the industry, wherein if this minimum threshold is reached, system will automatically trigger an purchase requisition to what do you call to process the purchase order and receive the item. All those process will happen. So this is kind of a trigger wherein it will make sure that the minimum inventory quantity is maintained. So that is the purpose of this. Okay. So we will have replenishment plans and the other things. Okay. So apart from that, we have other two plans as well. So minimum planning is the common standard planning tool. I mean planning mechanism that has been used in the industry. But apart from that, we have other planning mechanism as well. So that is we have reordered point planning and we have supplier managed. So which means we will enable the minimum and the maximum quantity if at all I'm selecting the other option. Okay. So in this case, what I'm doing is that I'm selecting Minimat's planning, and here we have an option to select whether this is an buy or make, which means when I select buy, this is going to be an my procurement area. But whereas if I say this is an make, then this goes to my manufacturing module, wherein this will be triggered, wherein I'll have sort of an raw material requirement, whereas I will have to make or I will have to keep a record of probably let's say 10,000 units in a stock. So I will say here this as make in case I'm using it for manufacturing. But in this case, what I'm doing is that this I'm making it for my buy. Okay, so I'm just making this as buy, and the minimum quantity we can, okay, so basically how system will understand is that whatever we give here as minimum, so this is the check level for the system. Okay, So once this threshold is reached, then system will generate the we will have to run certain program to trigger that, but probably, but in real time system will understand that if this minimum quantity is reached, then system should trigger this particular program, and it will generate an purchase requisition to increase my quantity. Okay. So in this case, we don't have the huge quantity list and these things. So what I have done is that I have given one quantity. Okay. So let's say I have one quantity. So simply I can say this is an miscellaneous uh, issue, and I can close that particular quantity, and probably I can schedule this program to initiate the purchase requisition. Okay. So that is the reason I have given here the minimum quantity is one. Okay. And with respect to this min-max planning, the other component is that source. So under source, we will give whether this is an organization, or this is an sub-inventory, or it is an supply. So the difference between each one of us that when I say organization, which means it will consider for the entire inventory organization as a whole. But whereas if I say this is an sub inventory, which means it is not going to look for the entire inventory, but it will look for the specific inventory that, sub inventory that I'm operating with. Okay. And supplier is, it is supplier oriented, so that is understandable. Okay. And then here, if you see, I have selected this as in Mauritius inventory. So that is the one I have selected. This item is created on the basis of this particular unit. So that is the reason I have selected this. Okay. So here, if you see, I'm able to edit these information because I'm into master inventory arc. So when on the initial we saw that we have two things. So one is that master arc, and the another one is inventory arc. But whereas if I log in, or if I check the same information with the other arc, so here we have, only let me extend this. Okay. Okay, so here this is our master arc, and this is our inventory arc. So under master arc, we will have the inventory organization. So in this case, this is my master arc, that is Mauritius inventory, and under that I have two inventory organization. So now let me pick this particular assignment. Okay, here if you see, I will not be able to edit anything. So even here if you see, so this is frozen. I will not be able to edit anything. The reason being is that, and also here if you see on the planning item, I did not give anything for this one, the inventory organization. So this is basically copied from the setup that we gave for the master org. The reason being is that we gave this as an organization level. So if I have given it at probably the sub inventory level, so then I'll be able to change or modify anything, because it's not that all organization will have the same setup. But here, since I have given this as an organization level, so it has frozen this page, and it is picking from the setups that I gave in the master arc. Okay, so let me pick this one. So this is our master arc assignment. So now, yeah, so we have seen this thing. So here, so we have seen the minimum quantity, that is 1 to 11 we have given, and also we have given these details. So that is I have given at organization level. Okay. And these details we will see, we will have it when we have the manufacturing and the other things in place. So for now, these details are not required. Okay. Yeah, so that's it on the inventory item side. Okay, so let me close this. And what I will do is that I will run a report called print minimax. Give me a minute. Let me log Okay, I think this has refreshed. Just give me a minute. Let me check for the new password. I think it has refreshed. Yeah, I think the password has expired. So I asked this person to reset and send the mail. So it will take another 5 to 10 minutes. So we can stay, or should we rejoin?
If in case we can take the short break, 10 minutes break, 10 to 15 minutes break, Arun.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, sure, sure.
okay, thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Thanks, take care.
Okay.